everyone, and thank you for tuning into the North Main Minute. I'm Joshua Doby. A very frequent question that's coming up, for all the understandable reasons, is a question with regards to what we expect the markets to do, usually referring to the stock markets, in an election year or in an election cycle. I don't need to tell you, you're already starting to see the commercials and see the ads online that it is a presidential election year. And certainly it's going to be noisy from a media standpoint, meaning the kinds of ads and phone calls and text messages that you're going to be receiving. It's part of the process, certainly in this day and age. But I respect the question when folks are asking, okay, what does that mean with regards to the markets? First thing I would say is be wary. Just be aware, of course, that this is an election cycle and that there is going to be some level of volatility, just as the markets are attempting to, in my opinion, guess who's going to be in the Oval Office and guess who may be in the majority or minority with regards to Congress. So just be wary of that. Be aware that those kinds of things are going to happen. And you want to be mindful as it's happening that these kinds of things happen every single cycle. This is not a new experience. Second big thing to keep in mind is with regards to the overall markets, as I mentioned here just a moment ago, the markets are going to try to guess, meaning that they're going to try to anticipate what they believe is going to happen inside of the Oval Office and in Congress, not only on election day, but then to do some level of extrapolation to be able to try to figure out what the next several years may look like, especially on fiscal policy kinds of things. So there's a lot of, let's call it, suppositions which are going to be made as we're moving through this season. And it's good to be aware that at this point, just like with all kinds of forward-looking statements, that nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is sitting out there, obviously, that is prescriptive and died cast in stone. This is going to be something that we're going to learn over time, and it's important because the emotions get heightened, especially during an election season. Third big thing, foundational here at North Main Financial Group, and I can't emphasize this enough. If you're going to make changes to your portfolio or your financial plan in an election season, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. We have this conversation constantly, and folks started out usually by saying, well, if fill in the blank wins the election or loses the election, then we need to fill in the blank. Very rarely, folks. Markets don't start and stop on election day and night, you know that. But the markets make guesses about what that's going to mean in terms of fiscal policy going forward. So if you're going to make changes to your portfolio, if you're going to make changes based upon what you believe is happening, make sure that you're going to do it for the right reasons for you. Take a look at the last 70, 80, 90 years worth of market history. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. It really doesn't matter who's in the Oval Office relative to market performance. I know, shocker, because of course the markets don't start and stop on election night. So just take a look at that. It's good anecdotal evidence to have when you're making plans, and if you're going to make changes, again, make sure that you're doing so for the right reasons. If you'd like to reach out to us at North Main Financial Group, perhaps talk about this crazy election season, all the stuff you see on television and online, but perhaps also because you're taking a little bit more of a focused view on your portfolio management or overall financial plan, we'd love to hear from you. NorthMainFinancial.com.